The first love that returned after 10 years? Have you ever met someone who changed your life, only to lose them and wonder what could have been? And what if, after 10 long years, that person suddenly returned? This is the story of Ethan and Lily, a first love that refused to be forgotten. 10 years ago, Ethan and Lily were inseparable. They met during their final year of high school in a small coastal town. What began as a friendship quickly became something deeper. They spent afternoons studying together, evenings walking along the beach, and weekends dreaming about their futures. Everyone believed they would stay together forever, including them. But life had other plans. After graduation, Lily received a scholarship to a prestigious university hundreds of miles away. Ethan stayed behind to help support his family and work in his father's small business. At first, they promised distance wouldn't change anything. They called every night. They exchanged letters. They counted the days until they could meet again. But as months turned into years, life became more complicated. Schedules grew busier, calls became shorter, messages became less frequent. Eventually, silence replaced conversation. Neither wanted to admit it, but their relationship slowly faded away. One day, the messages stopped completely. And just like that, their love story ended.
Or so they thought. 10 years later, Ethan was 30 years old. He owned a successful business and had built a comfortable life. From the outside, everything seemed perfect. Yet there was always a small part of his heart that remained unfinished. He had dated other women. Some relationships lasted months, others lasted years. But none felt like Lily. She had become a memory he couldn't fully let go of. One rainy afternoon, Ethan received unexpected news. His hometown was organizing a 10-year high school reunion. At first, he wasn't interested. Then he saw a name on the guest list. Lily Carter. For a moment, time seemed to stop. 10 years. 10 years since he had heard her name. 10 years since they had spoken. 10 years since he had wondered what happened to the girl who once meant everything to him. After several days of hesitation, Ethan decided to attend. The reunion was held in a beautiful hotel overlooking the ocean. Old classmates laughed and shared stories. Some had married, some had children, others had moved across the world. Yet Ethan could focus on only one thing. Would Lily actually come? Hours passed. Then the ballroom doors opened. And there she was. Lily. Older. More confident. Still beautiful. For a second, Ethan forgot how to breathe. Across the room, Lily noticed him too. Their eyes met. The noise around them seemed to disappear. Neither knew what to say. Finally, Lily smiled. The same smile he remembered from 10 years ago. Hi, Ethan. Two simple words, yet they carried an entire decade of memories. They spent most of the evening talking. At first, the conversation felt cautious. Both were afraid of reopening old wounds. But slowly, the awkwardness disappeared. They spoke about careers, family, travels, and life. It felt surprisingly natural, almost as if no time had passed at all. Eventually, Ethan asked the question he had carried for years. Why did we stop talking? Lily looked down. For a moment, she seemed unsure. Then she answered honestly. I thought you stopped caring. Ethan stared at her. What? She nodded. The calls became shorter. You seemed distant. I thought you wanted to move on. Ethan shook his head. I thought the same thing about you. Both sat in silence. A decade of misunderstandings suddenly became clear. Neither had stopped loving the other. They had simply been afraid. Afraid of rejection. Afraid of holding on to something that seemed impossible. And because neither spoke honestly, they lost each other. Over the following months, Ethan and Lily stayed in contact. This time, there were no assumptions, no silence, no unanswered questions. They talked almost every day, sometimes for minutes, sometimes for hours. The friendship they once shared quickly returned, but so did something else. The feelings they thought had disappeared. One evening, Lily visited their hometown again. Together, they walked along the same beach where they had spent countless evenings as teenagers. The waves crashed softly against the shore. The sunset painted the sky orange and gold. Everything felt familiar, yet completely new. I used to think about this place all the time, Lily admitted. So did I, Ethan said. She laughed. Do you know what's funny? What? I never stopped comparing people to you. Ethan smiled. Neither did I. Lily looked at him. For the first time in years, neither looked away. A few weeks later, Ethan invited Lily to dinner. She assumed it was another casual evening together. But when she arrived, she noticed something different. The restaurant overlooked the ocean. Candles flickered softly. A single rose rested on the table. Lily immediately knew. Ethan stood and took a deep breath. I spent 10 years wondering what would have happened if we had been brave enough to fight for us. Lily's eyes filled with tears. Ethan continued. We can't get those years back. She nodded. No, we can't. But we still have the years ahead. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Ethan smiled. Lily, would you give our story a second chance? Tears rolled down her cheeks. The answer came instantly. Yes. A year later, they returned to the beach where their story first began. This time, Ethan carried a small velvet box. The same ocean breeze surrounded them. The same waves rolled onto the shore. But unlike 10 years ago, there were no goodbyes waiting. Only beginnings. Ethan got down on one knee. Lily already knew her answer before he asked. And when she said yes, it felt as though 10 years of waiting had finally come to an end. Sometimes, first love doesn't disappear. Sometimes, it simply waits. Waits for the right moment, the right timing, the right second chance. Because while life may separate two people, true love often finds its way back home. And for Ethan and Lily, 10 years wasn't the end of their story. It was merely the chapter between the beginning and the forever. The end.